نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Those people who have a medical condition whereby they cannot control their urine, for example, or they have any other najasa coming out of their body on a regular basis without interruption or hardly any control over that, and they are then required to pray, obviously, and recite Quran, perform Umrah and Hajj, and certain things whereby one has to have purification, tahara, uh, cleanliness. So how would they go about it? So for them, Sharia has given this excuse. So they are excused from having wudu or ghusl from that particular action at that point when they're having that excretion, say with a stoma bag, for example, they're constantly leaking some stuff, or a urine bag, they're constantly dribbling through that, or even if they didn't have a urine bag but they have incontinence, thereby they keep dribbling urine, or someone has nosebleed, for example, and they constantly get some bleeding, or uh, they have excessive menorrhagia, so dysfunctional uterine bleeding of some sort. So for those people, some people actually have with Crohn's disease or other bowel disease a constant leak of wind. So they're constantly passing wind. So for those people, if they have a medical ground, they have to make sure that can they hold it for the duration of prayer. So that category of people, they would need to have a fresh wudu. If they could pray 5 minutes, 7 minutes worth of prayer without having to break their wudu, for example, by passing wind. But if this is completely not possible and they do not know when would that happen, the dribbling, for example, or the stoma bag leaking, or the bleeding from nose, then they are even exempt from maintaining any purity. What they are required, though, is to do fresh wudu for each prayer. Their prayer would be fine even if they bleed or even if they pass some stuff in the catheter or in the stoma bag during the prayer. That's not a problem. They are exempted from it. But they have to do their wudu at each prayer time whenever it enters. So the beginning time of the Zohar, for example, they have to make new wudu, and then they carry on with all the good ibadat that they want to perform, recitation of Quran, performing Umrah, Tawaf, or whatever. But once the time finished of that prayer, they have to do a new wudu for the next prayer. So that's one. Now, with regards to stoma bag or urine bag, during the prayer, when they start off the prayer, they must empty it as well, because that's a different matter. They might not leak anything now, they've done their new wudu, which is perfectly fine, but they should not also have anything connected to their body as najasa. So urine, and likewise the fecal material in the stoma bag, they must clear it, so empty it before the prayer. If there's anything else, if there's anything in there, if there's nothing left in there for the next prayer, then they can ignore it. So at the beginning of the prayer, Allahu Akbar, when they say for the prayer, Takbir al-Tahrima, they should make sure that it is emptied or cleared. And if something comes after the beginning of the prayer, after they entered into prayer, then there's no problem with that at all. They shouldn't be thinking about that in any negative way. In fact, when they feel, oh, I wish I was, you know, in a state that I could do better job, they get rewarded for that as well. So they should continue to feel that way, but still have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah has put me through this trial, and inshallah ta'ala I'm getting more rewarded for that as long as I continue to feel that way. So inshallah ta'ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would, bless you and give you more reward. May Allah cure you and give you best of the health and personal care, social and psychological need or help, that whatever you need. through the people around you, through the doctors around you, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah make it easy, inshallah ta'ala. أذهب البأس رب الناس واشف أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاء شفاء لا يغادر سقما ولا مرضا أسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفيه. But none of that should deter you from performing your ibadat, especially connecting with Quran. One should connect with Quran. Now, with the recitation of Quran, you do not need to empty the bag. Even if you have something in the bag, you can continue with the recitation. You do not need to worry about that. For prayer, yes, you have to empty it at the beginning. And during the prayer, whatever happens, no problem, inshallah ta'ala.